Hello everybody, Heather the Bard here. So I really want to apologize because when I started to do videos to teach music online, I kind of promised myself that I would have them done by the start of the week every week, and it's Friday and as you can see, I'm just now getting around to recording this. Really sorry about that. I'll just be honest. If you know me or know been paying attention to my blog or anything like that, you'll know that my husband and I run a small cattle farm, and it's the end of May, first part of June, and that means we've been getting ready for branding around here. And so I've been helping out with that, and time just got away from me, but that's all on me, and so I am really sorry about having this one out so late. However, I'm here, so are you, so let's talk about how to practice. So in my years of being a musician and in my years teaching private music lessons to people, one of the things that has consistently come up as a topic with questions attached and everything is how to practice. How do you know what to look for when you're practicing? How do you know how to practice effectively? These are all things that kind of come up a lot. And so I would like to talk you through my process. How do I practice? How do I sit down and do what needs to be done? Regardless of whether I'm playing Irish music, Renaissance music, or classical music, this has really served me well in the years that I've been playing. So first of all, what do you want to do? You want to warm up. If you talk to any athlete, any person who does weightlifting, who works out regularly, anything like that, and ask them, when do the most injuries happen? They'll tell you that it is when somebody's trying to do something and they haven't taken time to warm up first. So even though music is not considered an athletic sport, we do put an incredible demand on our bodies. We are training our bodies to play music, and as such, we kind of need to keep that in mind. So make sure to warm up before you sit down to practice. You can do scales, you can do long tones. Both of those are widely accepted ways of warming up the muscles, getting the air flowing and all of that. If you're like me and find scales and long tones to be less than interesting, you can pick a piece that you're already comfortable with, something that isn't very demanding, something that's pretty easy to play and not at a really fast tempo, and just play through it a couple times. And that'll do the same thing of getting your muscles warmed up, getting your lungs warmed up, getting your mind in the right mindset to practice. After that, pick the piece that you are going to be working on and play it as if you're playing it for a performance or playing it for other people. And as you're playing, you're not just playing it, but as you're playing, take note, mental note of where are there trouble spots? Where am I struggling? Where am I maybe holding tension and maybe I shouldn't be? So then what you do after that is you can go back through the piece and isolate those spots. When I say put them in isolation, if you have notation in front of you, that's usually the measure before you get into the trouble spot and the measure after you get out of it. And so you want to isolate those spots where you're having trouble and slow down. That's really important. They need some extra attention. Slow everything down. Take a little extra time to make sure that you're focusing on accuracy. Are my fingers doing what they need to be doing? Am I breathing in the right spot? Is there maybe a better spot to breathe? All these little things. Am I death gripping my instrument when I shouldn't be? And then think about creative ways that you can address that. Do I need to just write relax above this section on top of my music? Do I need to make a mental note to just let it happen? You want to just take those trouble spots and isolate them and give them extra attention, because that's really what they need. Once you feel confident in how you're playing them, after you've been able to play them through a few times with minimal amount of stress, struggle, then you can put them back in the piece itself. And you want to go back through from the start of the piece and go slowly, because usually what will happen is if you work on one of these measures or whatever sections that you're having trouble with, and you plop it back in the piece, there's going to be some hiccups where you get into it and get out of it because you're focused on it. So slow the whole piece down. Make sure you're just taking out those hiccups. Make sure that everything's nice and smooth how it's supposed to be. You want to pay attention to those transitions and anything else that might create a hiccup or be like maybe it's not a trouble spot, but it's a spot where you maybe mentally hesitate before you play it. You want to take note of those and use this time to just kind of smooth everything out. A few other things to think about when you're practicing. Pay attention to your form. How are you sitting? Are you tensing your neck when you take a breath? You just want to make sure that you're building good habits. Bad habits are insanely hard to break. And it's Murphy's Law, 10 to 1. The time that bad habit's going to creep in is the time that you're not actively paying attention that you're doing it right. And then it's going to be just hard to break. For example, when I first started learning how to play guitar and mandolin, I didn't pay attention to what my strumming arm was doing. And I developed this habit where now when I'm really working at it and really into it, this shoulder of my strumming arm will hitch. It'll go like that. And then a song or two later, I'll realize I'm holding that shoulder up for no reason. And it takes a lot of work to remember to just relax it. It's something I have to pay attention to. You may have something similar.